Good morning, everyone. Father Phil here. We're going to see a number of holy sites today, beginning with this abbey at Clonmacnoise, a place where Christianity has been established for over 1,600 years. Clonmacnoise was first a town, which was at the crossing point of this river, which traveled roughly north and south through Ireland. Incidentally, the Vikings used this very river to conquer this place and plunder it no fewer than 8 times. And this town was also established on an east-west traveling way. When the glaciers melted, they dropped soil and sediment onto the bogland, and they would build roads along that soil and settlement because they were stable there, whereas they wouldn't be stable in the bogs. And Clonmacnoise was at a crossing point of the river and of the road. This is how the ruins of the abbey look today, but 1,000 years ago they would have looked like this. The abbey at Clonmacnoise was founded in the year 544 by St. Kieran, and that house there in the right, the one that looks like a normal house, would have been the place where his bones were buried. That became a source of pilgrimage and also the center for the abbey. Over the course of time, by the 9th century, it became a great center of learning and of culture and of religion and of craftsmanship, one of the 2 great cities of Ireland in its day. The stonework undertaken here is just incredible. Also, the metalwork that was done has been unsurpassed in its age. You can see a detail here of the crosses, and you can certainly see the Celtic knots and the weavings that are so characteristic of their crosses and religious symbols. Look closely at the center of this cross and you can see an image of the Holy Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, each of them interdwelling and giving rise to the other. The abbey continues to be used to this day for worship services by the local Catholic churches. Like many places, it's been supported and built up by the European Union, having designated it as a major site. Continuing our travels, we take in some of the colors of this great land, including several beautiful fields of pure yellow. Finally, we arrive at the highlight of the day, another UNESCO World Heritage Site known as Knowth, Knowth. This site is 5,200 years old, established at the top of the very highest hill in the entire county, where you can see for 80 to 100 kilometers in either direction on a clear day like this one. What you have here are burial mounds, one large one in the center with what I believe they said was 500,000 tons of rock and soil on top, and a number of smaller burial mounds around it. Each of them have in the heart of them passageways where people were buried, typically cremated, and then placed in that place with oftentimes beautiful jewelry and other kinds of precious stones. For the great mound in the middle, which happens to be the largest Neolithic monolith in all of Europe, the mound was ringed with these great stones all the way around the bottom. Now remember, 5,000 years ago, the effort that it would have taken to bring these stones, some of them from 50 to 70 kilometers away. Most of these stones were engraved with beautiful carvings. The guide told us that these are seen as universal human images, which is to say that the similar patterns have been found in Egypt, have been found made by Native Americans, have basically been found in cultures all around the world from this era. And so they are considered to be basic human expressions of art and emotion and religion and faith. This one's particularly special because it was a sundial, one of the few representations from this era of a scientific mindset and an understanding of the natural world. Here's a closer look. Here we have the main entrance into the burial mound. All those white stones are original. Nestled among them are smaller granite stones that were taken from the ocean, each of them looking like eggs. Obviously, there's a number of symbols here of various kinds of things, but as you go over the large stones there on the right, you would pass from this world into the next, and the bodies were carried down into the heart of the mound. We were able to climb up to the top of the great mound, where it was truly impressive how wide open the space was on the top of this mound. Certainly there was place for many buildings. This that you see in the middle here was an escape tunnel that was dug over the last millennia or so that people who were living up here as a fortress could escape when the Vikings showed up. They found remains next to the Great Mound of a smaller ring of trees. This site would have been used as a sacrificial site for animals. Here you can see one of the smaller burial mounds. Well, after such a great day and such a great trip, we went out to celebrate Irish culture with a meal together and some Irish music and dancing. Here's one of the songs where they had us all swaying and singing along.
Far across the pond, although I often have been in foreign lands to know.
And the dancing was pretty impressive. Men's dancing was pretty impressive as well. And so we bid a fond farewell to Ireland. It has been an extraordinary journey. I'm so glad I was able to share it with you. And for those who want to hear more of the Merry Plowboys, here's one of their songs in its entirety. Cheers.